Hey there guys, Noodle here, and today we are going to watch something a bit different, still related to Uma and Keba. This is by Sketchy the Horse Guy, one of his older videos. When I say older, a couple years ago. Manowar versus Secretariat, who would win? Now, I heard of Manowar. I know Manowar is a really good horse back once upon a time in a lifetime ago. Well, Secretariat is from a lifetime ago too. But I am very curious on how Sketchy analyzes, this matchup. So without further ado, let's go.
Today is June 9th, 2023.
I have fries, by the way.
Exactly 50 years ago, Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes and etched his name in racing lore. But when it came time for Bloodhorse to name the greatest racehorse of the 20th century, it was a different thoroughbred legend with the nickname of Big Red.
Oh.
War. There are plenty of horse racing.
Oh, they have the same. Yeah, they're both chestnuts, I guess.
Man of War versus Secretariat, as it was the debate on who was the greatest racehorse of all time. We will never truly know the answer, but for the heck of it, let's have some fun. Come along with me as I try answering for myself.
Let's
who,
go.
In my opinion, I think would win between Secretariat and Man of War.
Oh.
In the big red corner, standing 16'2" hands, weighing 1,150 pounds,
Oh, no,
and with a 72-inch girth, sired by Fair Play out of Mahuba by Roxanne, I present the Mostest horse.
Mostest horse?
War.
Manowar.
A horse
Damn.
who we both know so much and so frighteningly little about at the same time. We
Oh,
might know that
really?
his favorite food was peeled oranges, and be able to highlight all of his achievements on the racetrack. But we also only have one full replay of a race he ran, and that was his last. From what can be inferred from the charts and the books about Man of War, he was first and the rest nowhere, leading the majority
Like
of races
Eclipse.
super quickly and winning by incredible margins despite frequently
He has a
carrying
big
humongous weights
big chest
being
and shoulders.
pushed up very harshly.
Holy crap.
Despite all of these handicaps, he went on to set 3 track records, 2 American records, and 3 world records.
Wow,
although
what?
None of them stand today. But it can be argued that the
Yeah,
minimum
that makes
efforts
sense.
he displayed in most of his victories, the higher weights he had to carry, the inferior track conditions, and heck, even the heavier horseshoes he had to wear, are all legitimate factors to say that his final times do undersell him when comparing him to a much more modern thoroughbred. And why it is so hard to compare horses from 50 years apart. The records
That's
he
true.
set were at a variety of distances, and
Different
Broken Arm
eras.
was forced to carry weights as high as 138 pounds. He lost only a single time in 21 starts, never running a genuinely bad race.
21
his whole
starts.
career, which cannot be said for his rival. To give some specific attention to his lone defeat, while sources vary on what happened in the Sanford Stakes, the consensus was he had an awful start, likely due to the novice starting official releasing the barriers only when the inner half of the field was ready, and not the outer half, which included Man of War. Even with the later traffic troubles, and carrying 15 pounds more than the winner, he only lost by at most half a length, and still broke the stakes record by 2 seconds alongside the winner upset. And I haven't even talked about the races he won, which included the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes, but he did not run in the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, why?
If he did, it is with near certainty that he would have won and become the second Triple Crown winner. He also won the Travers Stakes, the Lawrence Realization, and the Jockey Club Gold Cup. All classic races in which he equaled/set stakes, track, and world records, with one exception. And even after all of that, I'm probably still missing something, which I will apologize for in advance. Man of War's greatest opponents were usually weights, and not the actual horses he had to face. But he still did beat quite a few accomplished horses. Easy example being the first Triple Crown winner, Sir Barton. His rival Upset, who he defeated in 4 out of 5 matchups, the Kentucky Derby winner Paul Jones, while carrying 34 more pounds, and
Paul
Johnson
Jones?
Greer, the only horse that was ever said to seriously challenge
horses back then had real full names.
Stakes, when in a match race, Man of War was for the only time in his career fully asked, and prevailed in record time. But the other 2 times the two faced, Man of War effortlessly beat him. The biggest thing Man of War is gonna have to overcome is running against a horse as good as him, a rarity in his career. Overall, Man of War was as close to perfection as you could ask for 100 years ago. But with how much horse racing has changed in the last century, it makes it slightly difficult to properly scale his greatness. But what we can tell is that he never ran a bad race and was able to win at any distance and under any
That's
weight
good
given
though.
to him
Those are good
with whoever
indicators.
dared to challenge him, which by the end of his career wasn't that many horses. But now it's time for our next opponent.
Big
Also
Red 2.
standing in the big red corner, standing 16 two hands, weighing 1,200 pounds.
Oh,
and with
he's
a girth of
heavier.
75 inches, sired by Bold Ruler out of Something Royal by Prince
Bold
Quilla,
Ruler.
I give you the horse that God built, Secretariat. By now,
Damn! Bro, that is a freaking nice title. The horse that...
I give you the horse that God built,
Damn! Damn.
Secretariat. By now, we all know that Secretariat had a huge heart that was twice the size of the average horse.
Yeah.
But there is more to Secretariat than just his enlarged organs. The way he ran had one result by the finish line, usually, but how it was executed was polar opposites. He could either go from last to first, whether he did that in the first quarter of a mile or over the course of the whole race was up to him, and of course, he could just go to the lead from the get-go. No matter the outcome, on a good day, he'd win by many lengths, and
He
have
has
a
the
record
best
to go
engine and the
along
best
with.
gas tank.
Anyone
Damn.
who's heard the name Secretariat also knows that he is the 9th Triple Crown winner, and holds the speed records in all 3 jewels. Even
Still.
after 50 years,
Still.
none of these have officially
Right?
been broken.
Damn.
His Belmont Stakes in particular still stands as an American record, not just a track record. He also still holds the Belmont track record for a 1.1 miles when he won the Marlboro Cup, and also he obliterated
The
best
most
turf horses,
unfair horse.
not just the dirt horses, winning in America
Or one
and
of.
Canada in the Man of War and Canadian Internationals respectively. He is also the only racehorse to officially win Horse of the Year at ages 2 and 3 in America. In contrast to Man of War, Secretariat's greatest opponents were usually the fact that he was handled by human beings and the clock. He also did defeat significantly better horses than Man of War. Sham is the easiest to point to, as if Secretariat had never existed, he would have won the Kentucky Derby by 8 lengths, and also still would have held the Kentucky Derby speed record for half a century,
Yeah, that's
just
true.
like Secretariat. He just had the bad luck of being born in the wrong year. He beat Forgo, who would go on to win Horse of the Year 3 times, a feat
Oh.
only ever bettered by Kelso. His stablemate Revo Ridge won the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes, and was a record setter himself, setting or equaling 4 track records in 1973. And to this day, he still holds the 1.1 miles track record at Aqueduct, and the American record for 1 mile and 3/16. He also broke the world record for 1.1 miles in the Marlboro Cup, but still lost to Secretariat that day. Hall of Famer Cougar 2, who became the first foreign-bred racehorse to earn $1 million in America.
Wow.
3-year-old champion Key to the Mint,
Cougar
who
2.
won the title over
Who's Cougar
Revo
1?
in 1972.
It's like
and
Nijinsky.
Tam, a triple Grade 1 winner who had the 1 mile and 1/8 world record on the grass in 1973, before then losing to Secretariat in the Man of War Stakes. Overall, Secretariat
Ironic. Man of War
and are
Stakes.
still the gold standard that has yet to be equaled. He set records on both dirt and turf against top-tier racehorses, but Secretariat also lacks the same grit and consistency Man of War possessed, never being asked to carry weight, and for all the amazing races he ran, he still had a few below-average performances, particularly
Okay.
the Whitney and the Woodward Stakes. And now it's time for the post-parade. This race is a simple field of 5, with the toughest rivals of Man of War and Secretariat respectively running in it. Now let's get to it. Number 1, Secretariat. There's not much I haven't said about him. He is the 9th Triple Crown.
Is this old winning post? Can somebody tell me this is old winning post? I feel like this is old winning post.
Winner, ending the Triple Crown drought, which lasted 25 years after citation, and still holds the records in each jewel of the Triple Crown. Number 2, Sham, second to Secretariat in both the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. His heart weighed 18 pounds, above average for a racehorse, but Secretariat's weighed 22 pounds. What a poor guy. Number 3, Man of War, voted the greatest racehorse of the 20th century.
Damn.
Even after over 100 years since his last race, people still talk about him. Number 4, Upset, the only horse ever to defeat Man of War. Despite this and 4 other rematches against Big Red, Upset stood.
Also,
0.
it's a mix of the horses that they beat and they ran against. Okay, okay.
And finally, number 5, John P. Greer. While most people
Oh,
think
only
so far
5
as
horses.
when it comes
Okay.
to Man of War's
Small
greatest
lineup.
adversaries, John P. Greer is described as Man of War's greatest challenge in the Dwyer Stakes. And now, let's do this.
Okay.
And
Let's
now
go.
we're all online and ready for the start. And we're off and racing. Out to the early lead, we have Secretariat in front by 3 parts of a length. Man of War is second, followed then by Sham on the inside rail. But on the outside, here goes John P. Greer, who's going to go up to Man of War.
John P. Greer is
going.
Sham clawing at his neck.
The going to be upset, the only horse to have beaten Man of War so far. But as we round the clubhouse turn, it is Secretariat in front by 3 parts of a length, and he makes sure to extend that lead as Man of War stays in second position. And then it's another 2 lengths back.
So who's gonna win? Holy shit!
Sham and upset, but very quickly this has become.
What happened to Sham? What happened to Sham?
Going to the front, he has never been pressed by a horse.
There's Sham.
But Man of War has never had to chase a horse as good as Secretariat. As we now reach the backstretch, it is Secretariat in front by 3 parts of a length as Man of War begins to move up and make up all the ground.
I like the camera.
Tried to gain.
The camera work is so insane.
Down this backstretch, Secretariat just in front. Man of War was briefly at his throat latch, but Secretariat reopens. He's in front by just over a length. Man of War.
They're fighting. They're fighting. Rush
down this long stretch. Secretariat remains the leader. We round the turn. It is Ronnie Turcot and Secretariat. They look behind to see Man of War has not.
I think they're creeping away. They're creeping away.
Still eyeing Secretariat on the inside rail, but Secretariat continues to lead the way.
Sham is far third.
Goes to the lead.
No!
Man of War in front by 3 parts of a leg. Secretariat on the outside. Man of War to the inside.
No! It's Man of War.
At the top of the stretch. It's Man of War in front, but on the outside, Secretariat is getting and here he goes.
He's surging. He's surging.
He blows Man of War out of the water.
Wow.
He's in front by 3 lengths. And quickly begins to extend
what in the
Secretariat?
Wow.
Man of War was second. Then it was Sham in third.
Wow.
Secretariat today.
That is insane. Wow.
It's not that cut and dry.
Come on.
It's fair to compare horses from different time periods.
That's true. That's true.
Expected of them and considered normal contrasts harshly at certain points. Heck,
that was fun. That was fun.
Starting gate his whole career. All of his races were done from a standing start. So the simulated horse race already has problems. But let's say he became gate trained and was accustomed to the modern track surface standards and everything else. If we boil down what makes these two horses great, they really are polar opposites. It is a test of consistency and durability versus raw speed and power. Man of War is a way tougher and way more consistent horse than Secretariat, and easily would have trounced if Secretariat was even a little bit off, as shown with Prove Out and Onion both defeating him. Meanwhile, Man of War won the Potomac Handicap with 138 pounds impost and a swollen tendon in track record time.
But by he's injured.
Especially in his 3-year-old year, he scared off all the competition, so he frequently won against tiny fields with weak competition. For a few off days,
kind of sucks. It's not his fault though, right? Nobody wanted to.
Consistency-wise, Man of War would always run a good race, but Secretariat was a bit more all or nothing. If the two were locked in a head-to-head duel, Man of War was going to prevail. If Secretariat won, it wasn't going to be by a little. And if we just focus on these horses on their best days, then Secretariat is without a doubt better and a lot faster. Now you might bring up what I said earlier about Man of War's times being affected by different track conditions,
that's true.
Heavier horseshoes, etc., to say that Secretariat is not definitely faster. And you'd be right to bring that up, so I got that accounted for. Man of War's records, with 2 major exceptions, all lasted less than 10 years. Horses of his era could reasonably equal his speed even back then. But did they do it with just as much ease as he did? The answer is also yes. Horses like Greylag and Snob II broke his Dwyer and Wither Stakes records, respectively, with just as much effort, or lack thereof.
So he
Dwyer
just
specifically being the one race Man of War ran all out.
He just hit his prime faster, I guess, right?
Meanwhile,
and he's been more
Secretariat
consistent.
has records that have lasted 50 years. So it's safe to say Secretariat was objectively faster than Man of War, even when factoring Man of War's inhibitors. If you're curious for the 2 records of Man of Wars that lasted longer, they were 1 mile and 3/8 and 1 mile and 5/8. Both distances infrequently ran on, especially by top horses. So who you choose for the win simply depends on whether you prefer raw power or reliability and grit.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
More things go wrong for him and still prevail, while Secretariat would most definitely need perfect training, conditioning, and a decently good trip in order.
So a perfect trip for him to beat Man of War, because just a tiny bit of a mistake and he's done.
To win. But if we get rid of the old phrase, it's horse racing, and just focus on these 2 horses on their best days, You'd be hard-pressed to find any horse that could defeat Secretariat,
Yeah.
let alone...
It's kind of like MMA math,
so
I guess,
with all those
right?
nuances discussed, I give Secretariat the edge 55% of the time.
Okay.
In a war,
That's
45%.
respectable. Yeah.
Despite their similar nicknames, these two were certainly
Was this why?
horses of a different color.
Oh yeah,
Both of
this
these
is
champions should be remembered as
the
ultimate
aspect ratio
heroes
is
for horse racing
funky.
that reinforce this great quote: "A racehorse is an animal that can take several thousand people for a ride at the same time."
Wow.
And with that,
That's
I
a
hope
good
you guys
quote.
enjoyed this video. I'm gonna take a little
Yeah.
bit of a break from horse racing versus. Comment down what you think would be a great matchup for next episode.
Okay, that's a good video, and it's true though, right? Like you in a hypothetical, you give them the same environment, the same training, the same nutrition, the same everything. Then you never know. It's kind of like MMA, right? Like, oh, what if George St. Pierre, what if GSP fought today with all the improvements of everything, right? It's a nice thing to have a topic for a conversation, which a lot of people do, like in other sports. Basketball is one of the biggest ones. Jordan or LeBron or Jordan, who knows, right? But yeah, this is sketchy. Man of War versus Secretariat. What do you guys think? I do agree with him. Secretariat 55-45. But that's supposed to be like perfect conditioning, perfect training, perfect trip, right? And yeah, I'll see you next one.